Okay, now let's get started with planning your studio. So as with everything, it always pays to plan and know exactly what you want to do in advance. The first step is in planning your space. So let's say you have no studio yet, or you have no fixed place in which you've recorded your videos or your podcast. So the first thing that you need to do is plan your space. So the rule is the bigger rooms are always better. Now I know this is not an option for most people. In fact, for me, the room that I have here, the studio that I have here is tiny. It's really small. But if you can find a bigger space at home or in office, then try to dedicate that space as your studio. It could be your home office or your home study area at home, or it could be one of the unused rooms in your office. Why bigger rooms are better is because there will be less problems with audio and lighting. Smaller rooms, it may seem counterintuitive at first, but the problem with small rooms is that it's so difficult to control the audio and the lighting. The sound just bounces off all the small walls over here, and since the space is small, so it just keeps bouncing left, right, top, bottom, and the same goes with lights as well. Now with bigger rooms, of course, it's easier for you to get your settings right. So if you're not the correct distance from your background, or if the lights are too far away or too close together, you can always move things around and get the perfect spot. With small rooms like the one that I am in now, there's only one perfect spot, and if I were to move to the left or to the right, it won't work anymore. So go for bigger rooms. And higher ceilings are definitely much better. Some of you may live in condos or apartments where the ceiling is kind of low, but go for as high as possible. I mean, whenever possible, go for the highest ceiling that you can get. No open air, of course. It must have a ceiling. And this has to do also with audio and your lighting as well. Don't worry about the additional space with high ceiling areas, because for lighting, all you need to do is focus light on yourself. So you don't need to light up the entire room or the entire space. Okay, now sunlight is good but optional. So of course, if you have an area at home or office that's right next to windows, or where there's ample sunlight coming in, then that's great. It will help you to cut back a lot on your expenses, especially in terms of lighting, but it's optional. So a lot of people say sunlight is the best thing. You know, with sunlight you can just record videos. You don't need to think about buying lights and stuff like that. That's true to a point. But the problem with sunlight is that the sun is always on the move, always moving, right? So no matter where the position of the sun is in the morning, by the afternoon, the amount of sunlight that you get, and also the brightness or the quality of sunlight would have changed, and by evening, the sun is in the other direction. So you'd still get some sunlight, but not direct sunlight anymore. And also, it may be difficult for you to plan when you want to record your videos if you're having bad weather conditions. Like in Malaysia, for example, while I'm recording this video right now, we have a little bit of sunlight in the morning, and towards the afternoon it gets cloudy and it starts to rain in the evening. So if I'm dependent on sunlight, then there's only a small window where I have to rush all my recording, and that really makes me stressed out and I make more mistakes. So sunlight is good but optional. In this studio, in my office, I have almost no sunlight, and I think that's good, because without sunlight I can actually plan how I want to do my lighting so that it will be consistent. I can record whether it's day or night, whether it's raining, whether it's cloudy, it doesn't matter. So my studio is actually 12 by 8 feet with minimal sunlight. I have very little sunlight, and in fact, in the early stages of using the studio, I used to depend on that sunlight, but now I prefer to block it out completely.